All right, guys, welcome back to another Friday special here of the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast. This Friday special was filmed a couple of weeks ago. I was over in Germany filming some content, and I was at the Mercedes-Benz World Final with Seb Carmichael Brown from the YouTube channel Seb on Golf. Now, Seb is someone I've loved spending time with this year. We've had some unbelievable opportunities, we really have. And to play golf with Seb and to get it on video at the Germany Break 75 recently was a real pleasure. We were both over in Germany, and again, we're invited by Mercedes-Benz, thank you Mercedes, and we actually got opportunity to spend some time in their museum, which was incredible. It really was, seeing the history of car manufacturing to potentially the future of what car manufacturing will look like. And we got to sit down and record a podcast, me and Seb, talking about what an eventful 2023 we both had. So sit back and enjoy a bit of a story time with me and Seb about the Masters at Augusta, the Open, the Ryder Cup, and much, much more. Enjoy. So, Seb Carmichael Brown, how are you, pal?
I'm very good, mate. Thank you. Another pretty incredible week so far.
You know what's mad? We've had a hell of a time this year.
Where to start?
We've had a hell of a time. Some opportunities that we are unbelievably blessed.
I think if you ask the golfer to sort of design the events that would make the ultimate golfing trips, that would include great destinations, accommodation, food, watching golf, playing golf, I don't know how you top it.
No, I don't.
I don't know how you do it.
Anyway, Seb, before we get into all of that, I walk down memory lane, which I think with so much enthusiasm, people are going to be excited to listen to. How are you and how's the YouTube channel getting on? Because it's mad, because I remember several years ago when you started, because you've been going for what now, maybe 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, I think maybe even nearly 7, to be honest. Yeah.
I remember the first ever video you released, and I was watching it. I was in a hotel room down south. I can't quite remember where I was. And I felt like I had a really, really good understanding of golf YouTube. Like, I understood the landscape. And one time I saw this video pop up, and I shot up out of bed and went, who's this?
Who's this little
Because
kid?
like your first video, you got like 150,000 views. I'm thinking, what the hell? It was a blend of golf. It was a blend of football, soccer for our USA followers. And I was like, who is this kid? And from there, you gained huge amount of subscribers. You had some massive guests on the channel straight away. And I'm thinking, right, I'm going to message Seb straight away. Hi, pal, fancy hooking up. Should we do a collaboration? Which we actually did
We did, yeah, with Pete at, was it Forest of Arden?
Forest of Arden, yeah. And then,
remember it well.
Kind of the story of you getting into golf YouTube. Like, how did that even come about?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've been involved in the YouTube world for nearly 10 years now. But as you said, in football, in soccer. With #United with my brother, and effectively it came from working with him, like being in his videos, helping him behind the scenes on the business side of things. He was always encouraging me to do a golf channel when I was maybe one day, and then I remember just one day like thinking, I never used to like golf. Like, I talked about this all the time. I was 21, finished uni. I wasn't a golfer, and then I lived in a flat next to a golf course and became addicted. And I just thought, there's got to be so many other people that like football who think golf's rubbish and boring, and it isn't. And if I could maybe showcase how I thought that and now how I don't think that anymore. And that was always my plan. Like, I watched all you guys, like back then it was you and Pete, it was like Crossfield, it was me and my golf. And a lot of you back then were doing club reviews and instructional content. And I was, just an amateur golfer. I thought, I'm just going to have a bit of fun and mess around and do fun challenges, which you guys did as well, of course, at the same time. But that was always my goal, was just to have a bit of fun with it and not take it too seriously. I used to make my videos talking to the non-golfer, if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You don't come from a bad stock of amateur golf. Like, you are a multiple winner of one of the biggest amateur golf events here in the UK. So, and that was televised.
Yeah.
Talk us through that.
I had the Trilby Tour. Yeah, I mean, just the most fun ever. Like, I love competitive golf now. I love competing. I really struggle to enjoy golf without like playing for something. I don't just have a casual round. And when I was playing really competitively, the Trilby Tour came along as this amateur golf tournament. It's like 15 events, then a grand final on Sky Sports with the cameras, with a gallery. Just like, that was what I was living for. And I was like practicing every night, like determined to win. This is all pre-having kids and other stuff going on. And yeah, I just, for whatever reason, just seemed to manage to turn it on at the at the ultimate moment of these events, and just loved it.
You are a competitor. And talking about competitors, we're over here in Germany at the moment for the Mercedes Trophy World Final. Like, this is it. This is the final where is it 60 countries?
60,000 people from 60 countries. One of the biggest amateur golf tournaments in the world, if not the biggest.
I think it now is.
Yeah.
You no longer have the reign of the biggest amateur golf tour winner. No. It's now whoever wins the Mercedes Trophy final. And we are we're not competing in it, thankfully, for me. You'd have probably loved it. But we're here on behalf of Mercedes and Mercedes guest, and we've got to meet some of the competitors. We got to have a bit of a food and drink with them last night, and we spoke to the Aussie team and the Australia team and the English team, and it's an amazing setup. It really is. And at the end of this week, there will be a crowned winning team, which I'm excited about. I'm not sure it's going to be UK.
No, I mean, I had a little look on the trophy, which is very impressive as well. And I think the UK won the inaugural rendition of this event.
Wow.
But they haven't won it since 2010. So they've got some work to do. It's like a team format as well as an individual. And if I've not got this wrong, the winners, I think, get to go to the Open next year at Royal Troon and play on the Monday, which must be so much fun.
Well, it is so much fun because we got a chance to do that this year.
We did.
But yeah, we're also going to be filming out on the golf course this week. A video is going to be coming out hopefully the same week as this podcast, so stay tuned for that. But also, we've been loads of different places today. We're here, you might have noticed, we're here at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart.
Place this is.
We're in the Gallery of Celebrities, where there is quite literally some of the most impressive cars ever. There's Princess Diana's Mercedes-Benz. There's the Pope's Pope-mobile.
The Pope's G-Wagon
is here.
Gold-plated.
We've got this graffitied car from a street artist named of Crew. And also, right behind us here, that is the first ever car sold by Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is incredible. We've been to the factory today. We've been to AMG today. Seeing how the engines, one person takes an engine from the start all the way to the finish as an AMG. And at the point, they have a plate that they sign or it's already pre-signed. And one person has made your AMG engine, which is pretty phenomenal. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, as well as for that, seeing how the cars get made, like when you're coming to see a factory of how cars are manufactured, you think, oh, it's going to be pretty impressive, it's going to be pretty cool. It doesn't prepare you, does it really? Just the scale and the amount of detail that goes into every single like crevice of the car and the scale of that factory. I mean, 30,000 people, I think, were employed there. They've got like their own fire station, their own doctor's surgery. They've got like, it's just mental, isn't it?
Talking about attention to detail.
Yep.
Something Mercedes-Benz do really well. We also went somewhere this year that probably has exactly the same philosophy.
Yeah.
AUGUSTA National Golf Club.
Yes.
We got to go to the Masters this year. We got to spend the whole week there. Practice days, every single tournament day. We got to meet John Rahm.
Yep.
I bumped into John Rahm.
Yeah, I mean, that's that story.
The eventual winner. You know, I do feel like a lot of his victory did probably actually be influenced by me.
At least 20% of it, I think is owed to that. I would agree with that.
I don't know if I got 20% of the winning.
No, possibly not. That would be nice though, wouldn't it? It's a big check that week.
But yeah, we got to bump into John Rahm. I'm still working on him coming on the channel, everybody.
Yep.
But also we got to, on the Monday after, we got to play AUGUSTA National. You and me.
Yeah, I mean, we had the most incredible week where we were staying and obviously going into Augusta, going to Augusta is one of the specialist things you can do in golf. Going in hospitality was a whole nother level. And then I remember when we got back to the accommodation, which was unbelievable, and that little invitation from the golf club, from ANGC, you are cordially invited with your tea time. I mean, I made a little vlog on that on my channel. I know you made your podcast about it, but that moment was just like, you sort of never really think, like, we've got to do some pretty incredible things, right? But that tea time always felt just completely unattainable, like it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And then when you see it in black and white, your name, your tea time with the Augusta logo, man, that was just so special.
There might be a little bit of background noise because even though we're here at the Mercedes-Benz Museum, there are still a few fantastic, what do you call them? Customers, viewers,
patrons,
patrons dotted around. But you know, for me, being at AUGUSTA this year was one of those kind of, you don't quite realise how fantastic it is until you're actually there. Like the scale of it, what goes into it, the holes. I mean, you see the holes on TV all the time, but then to be able to actually walk the holes, to be able to, from a spectator standpoint, and then obviously from a playing standpoint as well. And it really was just mind blowing. And then even later on, like we have spent another time at another major tournament at the Ryder at the Open this year at Hoylake, like just round the corner from me. Maybe a slightly different winner of the Open with Brian Harman, but even just being able to kind of see the difference in setup and the scale of it all, like the amount of people that are actually at the Open Championship compared to the Masters. It's vast. It's so huge, the amount of people that are there, and just a totally different way of golf as well, like with links golf.
I think completely different. Like the one thing about Augusta is just you have that recall, like every hole you know it. And I've been lucky enough to play Hoylake a couple of times, Royal Liverpool, but when you've got such the infrastructure around you, you almost don't know. Like if someone said to you at any point, where is the 15th green? You wouldn't quite know exactly where to go. But at Augusta, you just sort of know where you are at all times. So it's very different.
What type of golf do you like playing most?
I like playing links golf.
You do?
Links golf for me. I was lucky enough last year to do a series where I played every single Open venue. Every single one, including the ones that are no longer on the rotor. So Turnberry, Royal Cinque Ports, Princes. Prestwick. Yeah, played all of those. And I kept like an eclectic scorecard. So my best hole 1, my best hole 2, and then compared that against the professional golfers, the tour players who've also done the whole rotor, and I saw where I gave myself a bit of a head start, Rick. I didn't play off all of the white tees. I played a few forward tees, and obviously I did 4 extra rounds, so I caught up. It's a nice little finish. If anyone wants to watch that, I won't spoil the result, but that for me, I got to see all of them. Turnberry was my favourite.
Favourite golf course?
Turnberry, my favourite golf course.
I've not done Turnberry.
Yeah, Turnberry, the Alyssa course, is farcical. So what I'm about with the links and why I love links golf, first of all, if I play well, I love the golf course. I'm not going to lie about it. If I play badly, I'm not going to have as good a time, right? There's a few exceptions to that. Maybe Augusta's one of them. But at Turnberry, you have so many things in the vista. You have the huge hotel, the huge Scottish flag. You have the coastline. You have the lighthouse. There's that one hole, 230 yards over a cliff top. Lighthouse in the backdrop. The sun was setting in a beautiful evening. And then what happened in Scotland? Dolphins were crashing into the coast below me. There was dolphins playing below us. So it was like, this is just ridiculous. So Turnberry for me, Portrush again. But you know what's right up there? Troon.
Really?
Love Troon. Absolutely love links golf. I've not got the best fundamental golf swing, as people regularly remind me in my comments. I got a comment the other day saying, your golf swing, is it due to a back issue or another underlying medical condition?
Ouch.
Ouch. But it's for me, I've not got a technically good swing, but I like the grind of it. So that's why I love links, because the weather's involved. You're not hitting full, like robotic 150 yard 7-irons. You're trying to sort of, hit a 4-iron 140 yards and you're trying to do stuff. And that's where I think I enjoy that part of the game a lot more.
What's been your favourite video you've made this year?
My favourite video,
because you've been creative with your videos, like the ones I've gone.
No, please carry on.
I love the fact you played the 18 easiest holes.
Yeah, 18 easy and hardest. Yeah.
So you played 18 of the stroke indexed 18 holes, and you also did a video where you played 18 stroke index ones, different
golf courses. Yeah. So went to all the Open venues, including loads of other really big venues, and played the hardest hole and see what I could shoot or what somebody would shoot. I don't know how much people know the term stroke index,
I don't think I do.
Well, stroke index obviously is the hardest hole.
Yeah, right? Well, I know the category between 1 and 18.
I don't know if people know that one, but that was a good one for me. My favourite one recently was...
I thought you were going to tell me there was some real in-depth terminology of the word stroke index.
No. What I did learn is that a difficulty of a golf course is not the slope rating.
Right.
Slope rating is the difference between a scratch golfer and a bogey golfer for handicap purposes. The real difficulty of a golf course is the course rating, and the course rating is an algorithmic output. They take the length of the course, the width of the fairways, the proximity of the bunkers, the speed of the greens, loads of other things, and a number spits out.
Off certain tees
and it spits out a number. So I found the easiest golf course in the UK based off a male tee set, which was Oakland Park. It's only just over 4,500 yards. It's a par 67. And it's a course rating of 62.6. So the standard golfer should shoot around 4 shots better than their handicap.
Right.
Off there. So I went and played that and did a video there. But my favourite one is the 24-hour challenge, where I had to basically went to a night golf resort in Turkey and I started on the first hole, and I could not move on to the second hole until I made a birdie on every hole. So I had to stay there, and basically the challenge was, can I complete a golf course having to birdie every hole within 24 hours?
So, I was a little cameo in that video. So
I yes.
Because I kind of gave you some words of encouragement.
You did, much needed.
But the whole idea is that unless you'd birdie that hole, you can't go on to the next. No. That's crazy.
I had to stay there forever, basically. And I nearly did. It was one of the best ideas and the worst ideas. I think I did something like 70,000 steps, like 50 kilometres of walking.
How did you get back to the tee every time? You had to walk
back. So I had a crew with me who had a buggy, but I had to walk. So they had my clubs. So basically, I'm on some of the par fives. You're on the green, and you miss like a 6-foot birdie putt, and I've just got to walk back to the tee.
Oh my God.
It was agony.
How do you recover from that every time?
I had to go to some sort of retreat, rehabilitation centre to get over the tournament. I remember that one moment when you called, had that, I think I'd been on that hole like over an hour and a half. It was a long par 4, which is not my strength. And I had like 8 foot, and I was on FaceTime to you. And it
just skirted past.
And I was just devastated.
It's definitely worth checking out an hour.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll tell you what's crazy as well, because obviously your two worlds, football and golf.
Yep.
I feel like so many footballers now have got into golf.
Massively.
Like, I feel like, from Ben Foster, Declan Rice, Mason Mount, like there's so many of them now that are into it. Have you got kind of a dream collab? Is there a footballer out there that also plays? I mean, Harry Kane is a huge golf fan.
Yep. Gareth Bale will be a good one as well.
Bale.
I mean, Declan Rice is one. Declan's actually messaged me before about playing, and now he's left West Ham. Maybe I'm just, the invite's been revoked now, Declan, I think. No, I'm joking. Definitely hasn't. But that would be one. But Harry Kane would be great. Gareth Bale as well. Like one, I think you have a really good game with those boys because they're great players. I think Gareth Bale was like around about scratch, and I think Harry Kane is too. Why
do you think it is so popular? Do you think it's because they've got so much downtime?
I think they've got the downtime, and I think similar to me, the individuality of it as well. I love playing in a team. I love playing football. But there's something about the fact that it's just all down to you that I just love. And I think with footballers, certainly ones, they have to be a little bit selfish, especially people like goal scorers. But it is crazy. Like Matty Cash is a huge golfer. Like James Maddison, James Ward-Prowse. Like the list goes on forever and ever. Like they just love it.
Do you think who would be better in golf if these two players tomorrow picked up golf and they had a year to get better? Messi or Ronaldo?
Wow. I mean, you think Ronaldo would have the length, wouldn't you?
I feel like Ronaldo would have the determination.
Yeah. Do you know what? They'd be a good foursomes team. Ronaldo off the tee, Messi around the greens with his magic wand. I think that would be a great match. Imagine that, getting that. Forget the match, Phil versus JT. Let's get Messi versus Ronaldo on a links golf course. That would be unbelievable.
Would you just want to commentate or would you want to play in it?
I mean, I'd love to play in it, don't get me wrong, but I would just love to see it, to be honest. I
feel like you and Messi versus me and Ronaldo.
I'm all in.
So if they're watching, they probably do most of the time.
I'm sure they're watching this one right now. Yeah.
They'll be well all over it. And then even later on in the year, so we've done the Masters together, the Open together. More recently, we're at the Ryder Cup together. I mean, that as close to a football match in atmosphere as you can get.
Absolutely.
If not better.
On the first tee especially, right? That moment where, better. I mean, the songs, when Patrick Cantlay's walking down 16, we're right next to them, seeing them come down, and you've got, all the songs about his hat, and it literally feels like, giving the away team stick in a football stadium. Like, it's exactly the same environment, really.
I think in the way that the Europeans do it, it's got that level of humour. I'm fascinated to see what happens in 2 years in New York, Bethpage, where I feel like the atmosphere,
New York as well,
I just feel like it's been turned up 2 or 3 notches from this Ryder Cup to next one. I think it's going to be absolutely crazy.
I would honestly, it was fine. Obviously there was a few things that scurried over between the players, but it's generally there's no segregation, obviously, like there is in football. Everyone's sort of pretty relaxed and enjoying it. But I don't think it'd been much fun as an American fan on Sunday. I really don't think they would have, they would have got grief. They're giving that to the players. What about the fans next to them? So going to New York will be very, very interesting. It'll, I mean, the away Ryder Cup seems to be, I think Luke Donald came out and said one of the hardest things to do now is to win an away Ryder Cup.
It is.
So it's going to be an incredible challenge for the European team.
It's like even the USA team haven't won in 30 odd years now in Europe.
It's done 93, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, that's
it's wild.
Crazy statistic. With your golf game, you're a very handy golfer. What are you off these days? What's your handicap?
I'm off 2 currently.
Yeah.
My game's pretty simple. I'm fairly straight.
You're very straight.
Don't need it very far. Like nice little 240 carry, rolls out 251, 252. Classic 99.7
This is
club
why you
head
like.
speed.
This is why you like links golf.
Exactly. And then I miss a lot of greens. And then I'm solid enough around the green and with my putter. So it's like if I've got a short golf course under 6,500 yards, I can shoot around par, just under, just over. As soon as I get on them longer golf courses, longer irons into the par threes, into the par fours, that's when I get found out big time.
There's two things that absolutely infuriates me about your game.
Okay.
Infuriates me, right?
Delightful.
We played even just last night. Little 9-hole match. Went out while the sun was setting. It was gorgeous. A couple of holes I needed to warm up. And then, but after that, I got warmed up. And I did tee shots and I'd be a comfortable distance past you.
Oh, yeah.
You would miss the green. Okay? I would maybe hit the green or very close to it. You think I won this hole? I'm thinking, this is it. Game over.
That's what I do.
Give me this hole. And sometimes you'll even just play a mediocre chip. You did one on 17 yesterday, a fairly mediocre chip. I might have got him. I just missed my birdie and you hold your ridiculous par putt for a half. Yeah, I think you're the most annoying golfer to try and compete against.
I think I pride myself on that.
I think
I do. I think I pride myself. That would be the world's most annoying golfer to play against. I'll take that. And that is what it is. Like I just love competing and love just like dogging it out. And if you've got an event and you're even if you're a million over, if I'm playing in a competition at my club, I'll just like challenge the person. Like it's just me and you go now from next 6 holes. Like I have to have that. Without it, I just can't. I can't remotely play any good golf if I haven't got something on the line. It doesn't have to be money. It could be like £1, but it's got to be something or else it's not there.
You went and visited friend of the channel's short game coach recently.
Yes, Mr. Grieve.
Mr. Dan Grieve.
What a magician.
I need to rebook back in with him because I've kind of forgotten everything. I might need to watch the
video back.
I do need to watch the video again. But you've been for a short game session.
Yes.
Was it good?
It was very, very good. I mean, Dan said something incredible to me because I built my game off having a good short game because I missed so many greens. And at one point, I was pretty confident, that I was almost excited when I missed the green, chance to show off and do something nice. And that just went. And Dan diagnosed it within about 10 minutes. He said, you had a great English short game. So with the weaker grasses, my little hinge and hold, I'd play everywhere, but just with different clubs. He said, that works great in England. He says, as you then start traveling the world, he said, your short game is redundant for like the Middle East, for America, for continental Europe, where the grass is thicker and stronger. And I'm trying to play the hinge and hold, and I'm catching it a little bit fat or thin. And it's like the grass is just having none of that. So he said, what we need to do, Seb, we need to make your short game more continental.
More continental.
Brilliant. And basically, I changed my technique with it. And effectively, his diagnosis was that my effectiveness had just not worked in those other areas. Therefore, it gets in your head. You lose your confidence. And as soon as you lose your confidence over a short game, you're finished. You are finished. So that's what I'm building back up now. And I'm finding it hard to commit to some of the stuff. But whenever I do commit to what he's been teaching me, it works incredibly well. So you just got to keep doing it.
You have, like I say, got a mental toughness when it comes to golf, and again with the Mercedes Trophy World Final happening this very week. Yeah. What kind of tips, even for people listening, would you give to have that kind of mental annoyance?
Yeah, I think you've got to keep giving yourself little targets, but then the biggest thing is you've got to take pride in grinding it out. Like so many golfers that you'll play with, once they've like shot 3 or 4 worse than their handicap, they just give up and they just go completely to pot. I think you've got to find a way to keep going. And the biggest thing for me, whether it's any of those trilbies or club championships or anything like that, is half the field are already beaten, because half the field are already thinking it's worrying, and they're worried about, I hate to call him out on this, right? There's a footballer in England called Darren Bent, right? He's a lovely guy, he's on TalkSport, he's brilliant, I've got nothing against him. But there's a mindset, I call it the Darren Bent mindset, right? So Darren Bent was playing at Charlton Athletic, he's the main guy, give me the ball, I want to achieve something. He's excited about achieving. Gets a big money move to Spurs, starts playing for England, and he's worried about messing it up. Don't screw up your moment, right? And he switches from trying to do something to try and not do something. It's like golf. You stand on the tee, there's water on the right, don't hit it right. It's the wrong mindset. You've got to think about hitting it left. And I think most people fall apart by that. So I would always think the bigger the event, the bigger the pressure, the easier it is. Because half the people aren't going to turn up. Half of them are going to be scared. So all I've got to do is beat the other half.
It's almost similar to what Brooks Koepka's said in the past.
Yeah.
Like Brooks has said quite similar things. Like you look at 100 people playing in a major tournament, whether it's the Masters, the Open, etc., and they go, well, straight away, 70% of those people aren't going to win.
Yeah, they're not.
30%, you're then going to compete against, and even that from that 30, some of them haven't got the
to get over the
power
line
to do it or whatever it may be. So really, you're only competing against 10% of the field.
Just hang on. You've got to hang on. Grind. I say it to everyone, grind. You've got to grind. But no one wants to grind, do they?
So that's Seb's top tip.
Just grind. Yeah, that'd be my top tip for and just like love it when it gets difficult. Like if I was playing an event and it's horrible rain, obviously wouldn't enjoy that, but I'd feel like my chance to do well has got so much better now.
That's crazy.
You just like revel in that battle.
I want people to jump over to Seb's YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you, mate.
What video have you got coming up that's gonna excite the audience to come over there, hit subscribe, and enjoy a real kind of, even if it's not been filmed just yet, what juicy bit of content
I've got a couple of really big ideas that are going to take a big lot of planning and building up to. Because look, that's the one regret I have on my golf content, is that because I do so many other things in football and some other stuff, I've never been able to dedicate as much time to it as I'd like to and really fulfill its potential. So my methodology now, if you like, or my process now, is to try and think of bigger ideas and take longer and build up. So I'm not going to upload like every week, but I want it to be bigger and better videos. But we've got a video we're going to film tomorrow, a little challenge video. I know we're going to do one on your channel.
Yep.
So there'll be a nice little match between me and Rick, which should be a lot of fun. I've got a nice little twist.
You're talking about stealing clubs, aren't you?
I might rifle through your bag a little bit, potentially.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to keep you on your toes with that.
I think that could be a good match.
Could be very good, yeah, I think so.
It's like almost like killer golf where you take clubs away from me.
We've had some great matches, and we've never really had a proper match on camera.
No.
Really. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think the pressure of you being on my channel as well.
Oh, huge.
I think you'll live up to it.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. We'll see. I could be very, could have bigged myself up and about to crash terribly, couldn't I? But we'll see.
And any other like grand, like, is there any one more final kind of grand plan in the future?
There's a few, but
without giving too much away.
Yeah, there's a few, but not that I'm not trying to not give it away. It's just more that I haven't properly scoped out what it's going to be yet. So I don't want to say it and then it end up being a little bit different, if you know what I mean. But there's some cool stuff coming. Definitely, yeah.
I like it. Well, it's been fun being in this incredible museum here at Mercedes-Benz, in the gallery of celebrities, surrounded by some of the most iconic vehicles in the world. It's been a pleasure, Seb. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, our little match, our filming session. And good luck to everyone that's playing in the Mercedes Trophy World Final.
Huge.
Come on, UK. However,
as we stand right now, I understand that Team China has a fairly strong lead.
Wow. But
the thing is, they all get cut overnight. So there's a lot to this. There's a lot to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing who comes out on top tomorrow. Maybe go out on the course and see them come up the last few holes.
Bit of pressure.
Yeah, I think so. Get the cameras on. Let's see how they deal with that.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, watching. Be sure to subscribe to Seb. And it's been a blast. I can't wait to get on the golf course with you tomorrow.
Game on.
I'd like to see you going down, but
I might be.
I don't know which way it's going to go. And we'll see you all very soon.